Hi, Herman Williams here. On the screen on the computer here we have Bill Haas. He's fresh off his win of the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup. I thought maybe just on a whim here we'd do a video analysis of him tonight while that's fresh on everybody's mind. This is some video actually from earlier in the season in 2011. Here we've got a down the line shot of a driver, and we thought we'd just go through some things that we look for in a golf swing. So we'll start out here with some of the drawings. We'll pull a vertical line here right behind his tailbone and establish a swing plane for him here. Get that moved into position. And you know, when you look at Bill's setup, he's got just a great relaxed position here. And you know, I'd point out some things for you that look at his spine angle. You know, Bill has been over a pretty fair amount. We see a lot of golfers come into our studio and they think, wow, I sure am bent over a lot. But I'd say generally most tour players bow over more than the people we see on our private lesson tee. Notice the arm hang also. The arms do not hang straight down. We see so many people convinced that the arms are supposed to hang vertically. And if I draw a straight line down from Bill's arms, you can tell there, that kind of faded red line there, that's not straight down. So he's got some reach away from his legs. We generally tell people the hands are maybe about 2 palm widths away from their thighs there. So let's go ahead and begin the swing now. Let's start the takeaway. Bill has a great takeaway here. Fairly low and extended, has lots of width in his arc, but watch how the shaft and the driver move right through that wedge we have on the screen, right on plane. Basically the club head is coming straight into the camera lens, and if we pause right here you can see how the club head covers the hands. If you look at the shadow on the ground, you can see that his left arm and golf shaft are perfectly parallel to his feet. So we'll continue on to the top now. Let's continue that wind up. Super slow motion here. Now something to point out there at the top. Let me get rid of some of these extra lines that we don't need. Right up in here, we're going to go a little further in a moment, but look at how when we look at his left arm angle and the club face angle, how they match up there. They're parallel to one another. Right to the very top of the backswing. Okay. Now you can also see there how the club face and the left arm are parallel to one another. In my some of my videos you hear me talk about grip and flat wrist position and club face, but this is the primary thing you need to look for up at the very top of the swing. You want to be sure that that club face and that left arm are a good match. Let's draw those lines again. So we've got the left forearm angle like so, and then the club face, the leading edge of the face, you can see it right there, perfectly parallel to the left arm. So that's what you really have to look for. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a perfectly flat left wrist. You don't have to have the perfectly neutral grip, but you do need that club face parallel to that arm at the top of the backswing to have a fairly conventional neutral swing style as far as what you're doing with the face. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the downswing now. We're going to see the right elbow start to drop towards the right hip as you'll see his legs begin to kind of squat and shift targetward. And this is key. I want to bring this line back in here behind that right butt cheek, and I'll have another one maybe right about so. Now watch how he keeps his rear end back against that line as he shifts targetward and begins to clear the hips, and the right elbow goes in front of that right hip bone. Now this is vital to keep the shaft on plane, avoid having any spine angle changes that interrupt that arm swing. Here you can see he's going to deliver an inside strike as the club head is virtually in the same place it was on the takeaway. Sweeps to the ball from the inside, very level hit, and notice the flex at the right elbow. Still has room left to fire the right arm and have it straighten through the golf shot. Right arm is under the left arm as I describe it. But look where the hips are. He's kept that left hip pressed back against the wall behind him. Now that right arm fires through, extends, releases left on plane. Notice how the shaft exits under the shoulder line. So that's an excellent golf swing, and we can see that golf ball streaking down the middle of that fairway. That'd be a great swing to copy for all of you out there, and that gives you some idea of some of the things that you would look for from a down the line view of the golf swing. I'm going to actually start back at that setup and just highlight real quickly tailbone, right hip area, and spine angle, and then we'll just play it. Now, too many of you in that downswing, your core starts to move toward the golf ball and takes away the room for your elbow, and you can't really keep the shaft on plane. All right, now we also have, kind of as a bonus here, we've got another camera angle, so we'll do the face view real quick. This is a different club. I think this is a 3-wood shot here. Again, very relaxed setup. Watch the takeaway. It's got a lot of width here. We describe width as that arc of that arm swing, really extending outward from the chest here, if you watch that arc width in that direction. We'll wind up to the top. You know, these tour players are very flexible. He's able to keep his head fairly centered throughout this process. But notice the right leg. This is key. He's kept it braced inward as he's made that pivot. To a lot of you, it may look like he's almost on his left side here. He's already begun his transition. There's going to be a squat and a shift into the left side. Watch that left knee travel targetward. There's always some lateral motion from these tour players. If I draw a line up from the golf ball, look at how he's moved his center already to the golf ball. He's got his zipper in line with it. Now the hips begin clearing. Watch that right elbow. You can see it tucked in under the left arm. Elbow goes in by the hip. Hips continue to clear. Hands past the golf ball. Now watch the wrist action. Flat left wrist. Rotating into that release position and carrying on into a nice full freewheeling follow through. You know, I think if Bill may do anything that gets him in trouble occasionally, he probably slides a little too far to the left and kind of gets running out in front of his arms. If we saw anything today in his playoff for the Tour Championship, he leaked a couple shots out to the right, and that could have easily been due to the fact that he was kind of sliding his body out in front of his arms and just had a little bit of a tough time releasing the club fast enough. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. It was a great golf tournament today. Congratulations to Bill Haas. And if any of you need this same type of analysis, look for me at HermanWilliamsGolf.com. Till next time, you've just been Hermanized.